Silver Forecast New Year's Special. Silver Price Predictions for 2026. This is not a weekly forecast, and this is not a call for next month. This is how I'm thinking about silver for the entire year ahead. Because if you're holding silver going into 2026, the most important thing isn't the top. It's surviving the pullbacks on the way there. Let's get something clear right up front. 2026 will not be a straight line higher. There will be sharp pullbacks. There will be weeks, possibly months, where silver looks broken. That does not mean the thesis failed. That is how real bull markets work. If you're new to silver, this is the part nobody warns you about. Silver is not moving because of hype. It's moving because of structure. Industrial demand isn't going away. Monetary pressure isn't reversing. And physical supply remains tight, even when paper prices swing. But here's the real risk for investors. The market will try to convince you you're wrong right before you're proven right. That's why technicians like Michael Oliver have warned repeatedly that the most violent pullbacks happen during the strongest bull markets.
I think we'll have a correction in the process of getting to where we've been talking about, whether it's 100 or 200 in the next 6 months. There'll be a correction in that. It'll likely be a 1 month type phenomenon. In fact, if you go back to the 79 move, the 6 months prior to the move to $50, or it was like September 2010 before the April 2011 high in silver, where it went from like the 20s to 50. There was in the middle of that move on the clock at about 3 months or so into the move where you had what you could call a correction. In the case of 2010, I think it was in December of 2010 or Jan of 2011, you had a bad down month. It was actually a bad month. And it looked like, oh, that's a reversal top. Okay. There was no follow through the next month. It immediately went back up, made new highs, and took off again. Okay. The similar thing happened in 79 to the 1980 top at 50, where there was a period of about 6 weeks involving a month and a half, where silver had a sharp drop, but then really didn't go make a new high for a while. It muddled around. In other words, it corrected by standing still, but it got whacked a bit during that midpoint in the move. So I'm expecting, yes, between now and the target numbers I'm talking about, probably about 3 months into this, meaning like December, January, somewhere in that time period, you should expect some kind of correction that you can actually label as such.
That context matters going into 2026. So instead of one prediction, I'm going to give you 3 scenarios, not promises, roadmaps. Scenario 1, the base case. This is the path I currently expect. In the first quarter of 2026, silver experiences a meaningful pullback, not a dip, a real shakeout. It could last weeks. It could last a month or more, and it will feel convincing. This pullback is designed to flush leverage, break confidence, and make long-term holders question everything. If silver pulls back hard in the first quarter, that does not break the thesis. It confirms it. In the second quarter of 2026, silver recovers, momentum returns, pressure resumes. By the end of the second quarter, silver works its way into the $150 to $175 zone, not because of excitement, because the underlying pressure returns. In the second half of 2026, silver enters a wide, volatile consolidation. Price swings will be violent, emotional, uncomfortable, but silver largely trades between 150 and 175. This phase frustrates traders. It rewards patience. Scenario 2, the bull case. This requires acceleration. The dollar weakens faster than expected. Physical silver stress becomes visible. Investment demand overwhelms liquidity. If that happens, 175 does not hold. Silver pushes into the 200s. Volatility becomes extreme. In both directions, this is not the base case, but it must be acknowledged. Scenario 3, the risk or delay case. Markets don't move in isolation. A temporary dollar rebound, a liquidity shock, forced selling elsewhere. In this scenario, pullbacks last longer. Recovery is slower. The move to 150 is delayed into late 2026 or early 2027. The thesis remains intact. The timeline shifts. That distinction matters. Now here's the most important part of this entire video. Bull markets hurt. They hurt because they attack confidence, not logic. The most convincing bearish narratives always appear in the middle of a bull cycle. The market's job is not to reward patience, it's to exhaust it. If you understand that, you're already ahead of most participants. So what will I be watching in 2026? Not headlines, structure, the dollar's behavior after sell-offs, silver's ability to hold gains, the gold-silver relationship, and quiet confirmation from copper. Those are the signals that matter. Silver forecast is not here to call tops and bottoms. It's here to help you survive the middle. And that's exactly what 2026 will test. And that's why staying informed matters. Not because of headlines, not because of hype, but because these signals don't announce themselves when they change. They shift quietly, they confirm slowly, and by the time the crowd notices, the opportunity is usually gone. That's what silver forecast is for. If you want to stay grounded in structure, watching the dollar, the gold-silver relationship, and confirmation from copper, subscribe to Silver Forecast. We don't chase moves here. We track the signals that create them.